Hello and welcome to the 15th of September of Case White, or turn 8, I believe. This is the fourth to last turn, so we're getting there. We're most of the way through the scenario, and it's down to see whether the Germans manage to take their objectives or not. Right, so clear weather turn, 37 victory points, and needs another 12 to win. So Warsaw is worth 10, so if they take that and one more major city, that's it. Their losses are 12%. We're not inflicting quite as many casualties because of all the running away, so let's go and have a look at the history. See how bad it gets. Baby Joe falling back, consolidating a bit. Good. There's nothing really crucial to defend there. And the very southeast is an evacuation point where Polish troops can evacuate at the end of the game, and we get some extra victory points for those, I believe. Or perhaps it's the Germans get less. I've forgotten which way around it is. Overall, he's retreating in decent order, although these guys are a bit close. They may get punched out by this Panzer division. Okay. Seems fine. What happened here? Polish aircraft getting shot down. No surprises there. And the Germans cut around and blow up a bunch of our artillery. Damn. That sucks, but that's what happens when you leave artillery in the open. Aircraft causing damage, wiping out a bunch of our aircraft. And all those engineers getting absolutely annihilated. It looks like all of their air force is getting concentrated in this one section south of Warsaw. Oh dear, that's not good. They've surrounded the remnants of the 33rd. Still, these guys are probably going to be too late to actually get to Warsaw before game end, especially with skirmishes just delaying them. And these guys 100% are. Real question is going to be this section, I think. What they manage to do. And the British getting a bit of a fight, but not too much of a fight. Looks like these guys have finally remembered that they can actually advance. Doesn't matter though, because they've been delayed long enough. Oh dear, that hurt. Yeah, the British are in a bit of trouble. Oh, ouch. Yeah, that really wasn't great. I'm going to have to contract the British line a fair bit. I'm surprised these guys have enough action points after crossing the river to really reach us. But they're doing what they're supposed to, which is delay. Some tanks wiped out. Here comes the 10th Army, moment of truth. Unsurprisingly, they're across the river. Oh shit, that was a lot of artillery. Yep, they're across the river and very secure, but it remains to be seen if they can get enough force across. Oh yes, they definitely are. We are in some trouble, I think. Still, if that's the end of their moves over there, that's somewhat better than I thought. Right. Things are getting messy. Wow, we held there. That was... I'm going to go back and look at that, actually. That was quite surprising. They must have been quite low on action points. Oh, wow. What in God's name happened to our... We just had an entire unit evaporate by the looks of it. Whereas they lost nearly nobody. Still, we only have to hold for a few more turns. Whether we can is a very good question, because it's looking pretty iffy. just the sheer amount of artillery and aircraft is, yeah, we can't really mount an effective defense. I've got a bunch of flak units getting railed into Warsaw, so hopefully the aircraft will be blunted, but I'm far from sure it's going to be enough. It's good though. It's quite nice when the game comes down to the wire like this. Unsurprising here, they're pushing back the remnants of BB Joey's southern forces. And as usual, delaying them on the river lines is the best tactic. Cool, that was everything. So let's have a quick look at the south. They're basically about to be cut off from Warsaw, so supply does flow from down here, so it's not all bad. And the evac point is here, so I think BB Joe's just going to retreat these guys and try and delay them long enough that the game ends with access to the evacuation. Elsewhere, the north is collapsing hard and fast, not unexpectedly. I'm kind of hoping I can hold this neck open long enough to retreat some of these guys, but it's far from a guarantee. Even then, it's not the end of the world. The main point now is just holding Warsaw as long as possible. And in the north, the British are getting a bit beaten up. But, you know, whatever they're doing there, who knows. Right, I'm going to run through the reserve turn and then we'll see you at the end. Okay, let's have a look at the end of the turn. As you can see, there's been what could theoretically be called an orderly retreat, but is more of a mad scramble inwards. I'm starting to stack up a few troops in Warsaw, but it's really not that good. These guys will hopefully be across the river and in the city next turn, and same with this lot, so we will have some, but the Germans are going to be right pressing up against the city, and I think this hex is going to get blown out, and there's some more reinforcements behind it, but yeah, it's going to be tricky. Overall, we've moved back as far as we can. Same over here, there's had to abandon the artillery because they're just too busted up and slow moving. A few blockers to slow them down in the cities. Hopefully we'll be able to hold this section. I should probably have put that on the corner, but between these two and the zone of control, it will hopefully be enough. Yeah, otherwise not a lot to report. We are in some trouble, but we could survive theoretically. It's all going to come down to the battle on the next 3 turns over Warsaw. So yeah, and we do have the ability to deploy some garrison troops via political points next turn, which is what I think I'm going to do. Plop them down in Warsaw. They'll give us enough manpower to make it a bit of a slog for them, and hopefully be enough, but yeah, no guarantees of that. This lot are definitely not going to make it in time to participate in the battle, so they're just going to be slowing down, preventing any of the northern Germans from making it in time as well. That's their main job. The British did a little bit of fighting. We knocked back a German regiment and withdrew in what's going to be hopefully good order. It's pretty... The Germans have got a decent amount of artillery and they've finally started concentrating their fire, so we are hurting a bit, but in the end, the British are there to just distract this 4th Army. Not really to do much else. They were never going to be able to break out with the forces the Germans have arrayed against them. So yeah, we'll see how it goes next turn. I think that's going to be the absolutely critical one in terms of what happens. Again, the 10th Army, who were hurt fairly badly in the start, as you can see, especially if you look at their light tanks and medium tanks. They sustained heavy casualties in the first couple of turns, but then have been kind of cruising on since then. And this is where our T-26s started getting slaughtered. You can see the Polish Southern got absolutely munched there. Overall, for everything. There's a steady decline of Polish southern forces. Mine, which is the purple and the pink, are kind of holding it together but declining. And the Germans are taking some hurt, but not really enough. They still have lost 12% of their troops, which is, yeah, it's just pretty good. All right, we've definitely put some hurt on them, even though being outnumbered and having significantly worse quality of troop. Actually, I did forget to strategic move troops, so I'm going to do that now. But overall, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Do the subscribe thing if you want to see my other videos of Shadow Empire, and thanks a lot.